how are you? We have some Q&A to do. I hope you're doing fine, cause it's Q&A time again. Oh no, Coolie Loach, don't run. Oh, he's so cool. I think this is cool. I just noticed this not too long ago. You got some dwarf hair grass growing in with dwarf sage. How cool is that? Kind of adds a little extra, fills in the bottom of the dwarf sag. I don't know if he meant to do that, but it does definitely look cool. And looks like there's a lot of cool people in the chat. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. And I am in live chat now. So I am actually at a special place today. Took me a little bit of distance to get here, but I am with the man himself, JH Aquatics, up in this fish room. We're just hanging out here. We went on a little expedition today, and it was an absolute blast. And if you want to get in here, JH, you can. Yeah. You're more than welcome. And hello, 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 hello.
Oh,
thank you all for showing up. Ooh, about to got the toes.
Did I get your toe?
No.
Oh, close.
Did. I was quick, like a ninja. But I hope everybody's doing great. So welcome to another Friday Night Live Q&A where you can ask us questions about keeping freshwater fish, shrimp, and plants. If I don't know something, maybe he knows, maybe somebody in the community knows. We got so many awesome people within the chat because obviously nobody can know it all about this hobby. It's so variable. There's so many things that can happen within it, and there's still so much we don't know that even have any justifiability to know. So
got a question.
We all help each other.
That's like a good question. I have 2 tanks, 1.5 inches of sand, 1.5 inches of dirt cap, and
are you trying to read questions like me, JH? I think JH is trying to do the LRB
thing. It was
thing.
all the whole substrate question.
You gotta throw it out there. Here, I'll find it. Oh wait. Actually, I don't know why I didn't get that one. Maybe because, oh, here it is. 305 Richie Rich. Glad to see you again, Richie Rich. He's been in here quite often lately. He says, LRB, hey Lucas, I have 2 tanks, one with 1.5 inch of sand and one with 1.5 inch of dirt, capped with 2 inches. So is it capped with sand? Says, my plants keep dying the dirt, same parameters, root tabs, and liquid ferts. So often, the dirt can be too compact that the roots can't really dig down into it as much. I actually learned this with my Substrate lasagna with my 240 gallon. And they do well, the roots through the sand because they can actually get through it, they can dig through. But if that dirt is too compact, really settles in, that can cause problems and the roots can't get to it. So that could be your problem. Even if you put root tabs in there, you have nutrients there, there's something that's blocking root growth, whether it's space, which is more than likely space over nutrients when it comes to that. So I hope that helps you out. I'm sorry that's the issue, because it kind of means you got to reset the tank, but
well, and I have heard that you got to be careful.
It is what it is. Or just deepen the sand bed, and then the nutrients can pull up through the sand bed through time, and the roots can eat off of that.
But I have heard about sand caps can kind of calcify and make a shell sometimes, which you got to be careful with, especially with like what I did with the beach sand. Well, but it can cause the gas exchange in the substrate, which might mix with the roots. You know what I mean? If you, it'll suffocate the
I've never had any experience with that. LRB Aquatics, are you in top chat? Ask Lady LRB. I am in the regular chat here. Wrong button. Live chat. So, not sure why you asked. But anyways, Michael Sizemore, my bro. So glad to see you in here. Throwing down a $20 super chat. If you guys don't know who Michael Sizemore is, he's Water Forest Aquatics. He's actually my 2nd biggest video on this channel. His skills are phenomenal. He actually just got a new house. I hope he's still doing the fish thing. And Michael, bro, we gotta talk for sure, because he is one heck of an aquascaper. Kind of a shy guy. He's not like, he's kind of introverted. Sorry to throw you out there like that, Michael, but he is phenomenal. And I wish, we'll talk. But thank you so much, Michael. I appreciate you. And so glad to see you in here, bro. Will autocinkless or Siamese algae eaters eat rainbow fish? So Siamese algae eaters, definitely for sure. Autocinkless, not as much. Definitely a possibility for them to, but not as likely, depending on... Are we back? We are live. Okay. I think we're live. We did it. Yeah. We're back.
We're good.
We're back. All right, so we were on my Verizon account. I am on island, so it's a little untrusty, but here we are now back on the Wi-Fi. So with his Wi-Fi, we should be good to go. So hopefully this looks a lot better. Let me know in the chat. What is this Amber saying?
I know, I want to read it.
Okay, am I the only person having a problem with the video buffer? Probably not. Yeah, well, it happened,
yeah,
but...
the chat's lagging.
305 Richie Rich, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Says thanks for all your inputs. Well, you're welcome. I mean, that's why I get on here. I want to help you guys. Not a lot of people, well, I'm not even gonna get into that, but I'm just glad I can be here for you guys, and that you guys all come on here and support and everything. So thank you 305 Richie Rich for your support and just being here to ask questions too. DLC Aquaterra, again, thank you so much for your support. I appreciate you, brother. A little for the cause. Welcome back, LOL. Yeah, glad to be back. You know, it's not quite my internet. Supposedly his is really good. You're saying
mine
yours
now,
is
right?
like, yeah.
Well, now we're
and
on
your
mine.
stream qualities on your channel
I've got solid 24
legit.
megabytes up. Like, we're good now. Yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll be here the whole hour, because that was a quick, only 5 minutes. That would have been terrible. But thank you, DLC Aquaterra, for your support and for helping.
I'm getting stuff from Amber. She's never seen me so quiet. Well, it's not my stream.
Well, yeah, I told him ahead of time. I was like, now, JH, you do realize this will be my stream and you're going to have to let me talk.
It's not my time.
He's a talker. He's a talker.
Yeah, it might be my house, but it's his stream.
Yes, yes. GB3, thank you so much for your support again. He's been awesome to me. Says, I'm so happy. Thanks, Lucas. I'm happy too, and I am glad you're happy. We all should be happy. And you know what? Life is what you make it. You can choose your problems, or you can choose to be happy. It's what you choose to do with what's around you. And thank you again for your support, GB3. Happiness to all. What's your favorite things in the fish room, Valley Fish? As far as in his fish room or my fish room?
I'm curious. Since you've
Your
been
favorite
here,
things in your fish room?
What is your favorite thing since you've
Definitely
been
the blue tetra breeding thing you got going on here.
That's my
Your
favorite.
scapes. Like even this little tank right here, like it's just a little tank, you could easily bypass it, but if you actually look at it in person, like there's just these little plant growths within it and like little driftwood, so it looks like a lot within a little, and it's very natural. I love how natural his tanks are too. You guys know me, I love the natural tanks. His have like a little bit of, not on the viewing spaces, it doesn't have algae, but like on some of the non-viewing spaces, there's a little algae cover, and it's nice and
it's part of the filter.
Natural. Yeah.
It
just, yeah, it adds to the whole element of keeping water, really. Water keeping, not so much fish keeping. But holy cow, you guys are absolutely awesome. I've got to I got to catch up here with your guys' super chats and your questions here. Tiffany White, thank you so much for your $10 super chat. Says, great combo. How did this trip happen? So actually, I just hit up JH. I heard he was about to move soon. And I was like, I've got to get down there before he does move. And just kind of made it happen and hit him up. And I just bought the ticket, just went willy-nilly. I didn't really have money to do it. But luckily, you guys were so awesome last Friday night. And my Patreons, you guys pretty much made this happen, because if it wasn't for your guys' money, I wouldn't even be here. So thank you all for your support and your help. And thank you again, Tiffany White, for your support. And I know that logo, the Fish Tank Barn, my cow, thank you so much for your support again. It says, awesome stuff, guys. Yes, it's been really fun. I can't wait to show you guys the footage, what we've been doing. And it's going to be kind of a series that I kind of plan on doing here throughout the year as well, and time for you guys. It's going to be like a new series that's going to come out from this trip as well for you guys to see. And it's exciting. I'm excited for 2020. Like I've been telling you guys in the last couple streams, like last year I was just kind of finding myself. Now I've kind of figured it out. I'm in a happy space, and I'm just excited for it, and I can't wait to share it with you guys.
Phil, something we talked about a lot the last couple of days is just doing this because we love it. It's not about anything else. It's because we're having fun and we're
not worried about sponsorships. We're not worried about. Who cares about, like, even if you guys disagree, people can disagree about stuff. Doesn't mean we can't discuss it, you know. And we should keep open discussion, stuff like that. But we can't let it, like, hurt or dictate what we do, you know.
Sure.
GB3 deleting 54 Punchy comment. GB3, are you messing with 54 Punchy? Nobody does that to 54 Punchy. Gavaroxabu. I hope I sort of got that close. You already know I've tried it once. Throwing down the $40 Canadian super chat. Thank you so much. He's my boy from Canada. He's the president. Oh, speaking of which, this is for you.
Good boy. Yeah.
Gabe, check it out, bro. He's the one that gave me this hat. This is the hat I've been wearing lately. I've retired the Callaway cap and now representing the Windsor Aquarium Society cap. So he says gas money for your trip to Windsor, which I will be down in Windsor. I think, what did we schedule it for? It's either June or April. I can't remember exact date right now, but I will keep you guys in tune to when I will be in Windsor in Canada. Actually, on my website, I do have a event list to where you guys can see where I'll be if you guys are in the area and you want to come check it out. But thank you so much, Gabe, for your support, and I can't wait to come back up and hang out with you guys. You guys are absolutely awesome. And Thomas Glazier throwing down a $5 super chat. Thank you again, Thomas Glazier, for your awesome support. Always showing up support, throwing up the peace sign. Peace, bro. I appreciate you. You know it. All right, we got through. Oh,
one more. You got one more there. You got a big $50.
I want to get to these questions too.
I know.
Like, because I would hate if somebody has an issue with their fish and they really need help.
Now, that's what I love about your live streams is all the questions you get and all the answers you give.
I try my best, and I try to run through them instead of giving a whole full detail.
And Shannon's got a good question after that.
Konstantin Kozlowski. I hope I did that all right. Throwing down a huge super chat, $50 super chat. I can't ignore that. That's for sure. Somebody to support me like that. Konstantin, you are the man. I appreciate it. So glad to see you in here. It says, thanks for all the great info. Well, you are welcome. And thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Shannon had a question.
That was absolutely awesome, Constantine.
Ginger asking about, is ginger safe for effective treatment for ick and plant and tanks with
baby fry and lots of snails. Also, what about garlic cloves?
Yeah.
So some people use garlic to help with internal parasites, stuff like that. I've never actually used ginger or even heard much knowledge about using ginger in aquariums. Have you?
Not ginger, no. And I live here. We grow it all over the place. It grows in the wild here. But I've used, obviously, garlic, and I've heard about cloves a couple of times, but clove oil.
I would think if it wasn't like too oily, I don't know, or too resiny, it should be all right technically within water parameters.
I would stick with Melaleuca oil, which is with Melafix.
I'm not a big fan of Melafix.
Not Melafix, but I believe that
the real question is,
works.
Shannon.
Yeah.
Oh, is the treatment for ick. So you want to treat ick.
Ick, and you've got fry in the tank.
So you do want to understand that ick has a 28-day cycle. So regardless of what you're treating with, you're going to want to at least go 30 days with your treatment. Now, I preferably like to use Ruby Reef Kick Ick. It's worked absolutely phenomenal for me. Safe for shrimp, safe for baby fish, safe for all fish.
Oh, salt. I always go for salt.
And then some people just use salt,
I start with salt
and raise the temperature. But it depends on what babies she has. If she has some babies that are sensitive, I don't know what type of baby fish she has. But if temperature is not a problem, raise the temperature, and then you can use salt as well. Actually, I can't remember what the temperature is. Maybe somebody in the chat can let us know. but there's a temperature where ick actually can't survive. I think it's up above 86 or something like that.
You want to break 82 for sure. You want to go like 84 degrees is a good place to be.
Yeah, and then it can't survive.
I usually go up to like 83, try to get close to 84 degrees with some salt, and then.
But the salt's not necessarily needed. It's actually just the heat.
No,
the salt's more there. I think people like to use that due to like infections from bite marks of the ick that can cause other like fungal and
it'll affect part of the
bacterial
process because you got to get through that whole cycle. That's the problem with ick, right? You got to get through that whole cyst cycle, the egg cycle.
Right.
If you don't treat it long enough, you didn't kill everything. That's the big problem with people. They'll treat for ick, but they don't treat it long enough.
Well, they got to treat for the wounds too.
Yeah,
so that Ruby Reef actually comes with like a rally to treat for that kind of stuff, and I think that's kind of like the salt and the temperature combo.
Mm.
But yeah, if your baby fish don't mind high temps, actually sometimes high temps are great for growth in fish, especially like rainbow fish, tetras, rams, Corydoras, because they're normally spawned within the summer times and they get their growth from the heat, their fast metabolism. But make sure you feed your fish a little more too, because we'll definitely watch their behavior as they eat and see how much they're eating. But they may have a higher metabolism if you raise the heat, and they may need more to eat. So something to think about, and hopefully that helps you out. 305 Richie Rich, another question, says, thoughts on beta sorority tank? Where's your cup with Coke? LOL. I got the Aquafina tonight, drinking the water. Actually, I haven't been drinking that much pop lately.
No, I bought him a 2 liter of Coca-Cola, and he hasn't touched it yet.
Yeah.
But we've been being healthy this time around.
Yeah, I'm kind of like I said, I'm gonna hit 2020 running. I actually started before 2020. So 2 females and 1 male Inler, a good start for y'all, says better than television. I'd say that's a great start.
Yeah.
It's good to have a trio. Anytime you go with guppies or Inlers, trio does help for just giving the male Inler 2 females to mess around with. That way one doesn't get tired of his shenanigans. LRB Aquatics, Mickey M says, JH Aquatics, have you been visiting that awesome creek where Joseph made some videos?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Right, there may be a possibility
I don't know what
of
they're
that.
talking about. Yeah.
He's a thinker, that Mickey M. Sarah let Lucas out of Indy, right? She's pretty cool like that. She's been very understanding. Danielle Fizza says, LRB Aquatics, do you have any experience with small micro bubbles in seams of fish tanks? Bought new 40 breeder and bubbles after filled, seeing mixed opinions online. So yes, I've actually seen it quite often, and a lot of my tanks actually have it. I've never had any issue with it. And I even have some tanks that are kind of questionable where the seal actually is broken all the way to the seam.
So we're talking about micro bubbles in the silicone?
Yeah, in the silicone.
Really?
But the seam is actually holding the tank more than the silicone.
Yeah. The bubbles can't really,
So I wouldn't worry too much about it. It's pretty common to get new tanks, especially if it's a $1-gallon cell with bubbles in the silicone. Texas Andy says 84 to 86 degrees for the ick, that it can't survive.
84, yeah, I try to go to 84, that's like, yeah.
But you want to make sure you're on the high end, because the higher end you can go, the more likely it's going to not survive.
Yeah.
Because that's the extremity it can't handle, you know?
Like, I have bottles of Ick-X over there, but I don't go there until I try the salt.
See, I don't like Ick-X.
Yeah.
I don't like Melifix. I don't know.
No.
None of that.
I do salt and temperature first, and then if that doesn't work, then I go to medication.
Yeah.
I try to go for the temperature.
That Melifix stinks too.
You got Ginger Graves.
Yes, Ginger Graves, thank you so much for the support and $20 super chat. You are a doll. I love you, Ginger Graves. Says, LRB, my fish arrived safely. I can't wait to get them breeding in my 33 long. Howdy do, JH. Always so glad to hear my fish make it safely, because those are my babies. But I'm glad you're housing them, giving them a new good home. And I always appreciate your support, Ginger, and what you do for the fish fam.
Favorite tank size right there, 33 long.
Yes,
I love
that's
that
a
tank.
beautiful footprint.
Yeah.
I think anybody who's ever seen a 33 long, they just fall in love with it.
I want to rack a whole wall of just top to the bottom.
So when it comes to actually keeping fish, like we often keep like square tanks and stuff like this, but length I believe is more important than depth. For sure, when it comes to keeping
the surface area
most
of the
our
bottom
fish.
of the tank too.
Yeah, just that space to like go back and forth and to roam around.
Like a good shelly
tank. It's much
tank.
better for
it. Makes like for a good
Because
shelly
what
tank.
it's a 3-foot tank, right? A 33.
It's beautiful.
Or well, yeah.
You do a whole wall of them. That would be awesome.
I think they're 3 foot long, right?
Well.
And sorry if I miss any of your guys' questions. Let's see. I'm gonna try to get towards the bottom, and especially if you guys have like a serious question to ask, I want to make sure I'm here for you. So I am at the bottom. I didn't see any other question. There's my brother. He says, no, Ian is Ian. Ian is Ian, that's for sure. Stay Ian, Ian. Yeah, if you guys got that question, throw it down. I'm going to go scroll up until next question if I did not already see it. Freshwater fish keeper don't seem to prolifically treat fish with copper NAQT. Yeah, I never use copper for anything.
Pam was talking about the
I don't.
surface area.
And then you have like some of the other stuff, like the old school cats use, like the malachite, and what is the other one they used to use? That blue stuff. Oh, methylene blue. My God.
Blue. So I've got it over here. I don't use it. It's on my shelf there.
Sorry, all you old cats that may use it, but
I think the only time I've ever even tried to use
fan.
it was when I'm trying to protect some eggs that I've had to.
No, and see that's when it's most often used. What you want to do with eggs?
Probably got
people see this is where it gets all mixed up. People want to treat their eggs for all this fungus, all this bacteria that may happen. When what you really need to do, get you a dirty mommy tank, throw those eggs right on top of that dirty mom, and whatever's going to be in there is going to eat any of that bacterial and fungal stuff.
If you watch my video that I did with the
because that's how they do it in nature.
The video I did with the blue tetra fry egg, or the blue tetra egg I had on the microscope, right? If you watch that video, see there's paramecium and other microorganisms on the outside of the egg, and they're eating the the other bacteria.
The other stuff trying to grow. Well, there you go. They're proofs in the pudding there.
They're eating the stuff off of the eggs and keeping them safe. Yeah.
But when you treat them with that methylene blue and malachite, you strip away any of that organicness, naturalness that should be concurring within keeping and raising up your eggs. Miller Aquatics says, is it Caridina or Neocaridina that's better suited for hard water? So definitely Neocaridina. They absolutely love hard water. Almost the harder the better. Like I used to have 400 plus up, like 8.6 pH. I don't worry about pH too much because that's per hydrogen. It can really throw you off. But TDS is what I love to check out, the GH and KH. It's kind of a combo of that. And anything over 200 TDS is great for them. They actually prefer at 300 plus to like almost 500. And then the Caridina is definitely soft. Man, these guys are awesome.
There's a...
Bo Summers says, do plants help cycle new tanks? Oh, definitely. Especially if you take your plants from a cycled tank, because they'll actually have that biofilm bacteria to help disperse within the tank. Now, it definitely helps if you have more cycled water from another aquarium before you put it in there, because it's hard for the biofilm that's just on a plant to take over. So it does still take time from that. You're not going to instantly cycle it from plants, but it does kind of help speed up the process. Also, the organic material can help too, because the biofilm bacteria and stuff could be eaten off that as well to create more of that natural concoction you need to keep fish and stuff happy and healthy that we often love to clean out of our tanks. Looks like I've got quite a few here questions now. They're all rolling in. Holy moly! What illnesses cause fish to gasp and then die over time? I've had 5 fish die from this. I threw in some general cure from 5. Oh man, just popped. for 8 days and everything went back to normal. I just can't figure it out what they got. So sometimes shock can mess with them. Could be chlorine, chloramine. I've had some times where I either put the wrong water in and they didn't get treated, or there wasn't enough treatment for the chlorine or chloramine, and that is what they did. They just gassed at the air, hung out just constantly at the top, and was having troubles living and were towards the door out. Luckily, I caught it in time, and I'd put dechlor in there. But that's how I know if they're like treating the tap water with too much dechlor, because sometimes they'll flush that into city systems where they throw in like 3 times as much as they usually do.
Right,
and they do that during seasonal changes, especially during cold water
even
weather. So that could have happened to you. They could have used too much chlorine, chloramine within your water, tap water. So maybe double dose on your chloramine, chloramine. See if that gives them a better effect than it should. And I hope that helps you. And Muddy Waters, thank you so much for the $7.77 super chat. Says thanks, I appreciate you.
Got Daryl Deemer too.
Yeah, I've got a lot going on here. I'm trying to keep up with it. Daryl Deemer, thank you so much for your support. Big reason why I shouted out Muddy Waters first is this is going to disappear.
Oh, right.
Yes. But Daryl Deemer threw down a $10 super chat. He's hanging in there, throwing out the support. Daryl, you're absolutely awesome. I love what all you do for the community and the support you give too. So thank you so much, brother.
Definitely.
I hope all's good with you.
Was that question?
Are you coming to Minnesota to do a talk, Rory Erickson? So yes, and that is coming up soon. I wish I remembered the exact date. It may be on my website. Hopefully Lady LRB is still listening. If not, she needs to put it on my website. But I will be up there for a talk. I'm like terrible with remembering dates. Like I have a visual memory more than like a numerical memory. Not to mention malachite green and methylene blue are hazardous to the Aquarius. That too. It's not good stuff. And it stains your silicone. Okay, see, you guys know. Yeah, not a fan of that stuff. But Candy Overhauls, thank you so much for linking up and doing what you do. Big shout out to Candy Overhauls. Gotta love that woman.
Sounds like they're planning a party over there, Amber and Sarah.
Sweet. If you do, are we invited? If not, send us pictures. A good way to fight nitrates, doing 50% water changes twice a day. Do you have plants? Plants will help eat those nitrates. Plants love nitrates. That's my answer. And if you don't like plants, or maybe even just a floaters, quick growing plants, like say if you got anubiases, they're not going to pull nitrates as like a stem plant or a floating plant or a moss or something like that. So even something to think about.
Duckweed, for me, sometimes if you just want to filter a tank, you want to throw
all the
duckweed on
nutrients.
the top.
Yeah.
Or some
You're having problems with algae, throw that stuff in there. It'll pull it all out, balance it. You can pull it back out, and you should be all right.
Or those red root floaters, there's roots just hanging down. That's perfect filtration. It's going to soak up everything.
Bully592 says, I bought some glow light tetras. One of them has damaged dorsal fin. Will that grow back? Possibly over time. Just make sure it's not infected, doesn't have any like white growth on it, and you should be all right. And if not, then like he's a story to talk about that fish. I'm not sure how it happened, but sometimes we have unique fish like that. Bearded Bob's Fish Room, LRB Aquatics, JH Aquatics. Hey guys, question about autocinkless. What's the best pH range? I have very high pH, and they seem to live for a few months and then pass. So actually, in my experience, I have kept autocinkless in high pH and low pH, acidic and soft water, hard water. They really don't care. But I think what is important is if there's a lot of biofilm, a lot of stuff for them to eat off naturally, not an over clean tank, a nice dirty tank where they can get good gut bacteria from eating off the biofilm, eating off the algae and everything else. because often they just won't get enough food, and that's why they'll die away. And they are very vivacious eaters, so you can actually only keep so many in a tank unless you're like feeding heavy. So a lot of people love the idea of keeping like 100 autocinkless, but in actuality, to keep up with the biofilm and the gut bacteria and the natural things within that, with what they would eat, is really, really, really difficult. And I know this from experience. But eggs don't get fungus then, right? So Zinginger, they can, especially if they're infertile, because sometimes even when they lay eggs and they do the fertilization, they may only fertilize a certain amount of them. Some may get missed, so some may turn white from that. And if you could separate those from the group, then you have less likely of the fungus being able to spread to healthy ones.
I've sat there for days sometimes, and just every morning I just make sure I get out any of the white eggs so that I don't spread anything. I've been there before where you just, sometimes just every day you got to meticulously make sure there's no fungus eggs and keep it clean, or it'll spread to everybody, right? You'll lose everything.
It's a little harder for them to spread to healthy eggs, especially if you got good beneficial bacteria in there. Not really so much circulation. You don't really need that. So sometimes people will put those eggs in like the tumblers and the circulation. That's a lot for an egg, dude. They don't do that in nature. They don't need all that. Mickey M says, LRB Aquatics, JH Aquatics, my LFS treated the infamous fungus disease on the African water dwarf frogs with high temp plus heavy aeration. Well, very interesting to know. I don't know a whole lot about the African water dwarf frog, but for those who do, hopefully that helps you out. High temps help that mysterious, infamous fungus disease. Now, I do know there was some fungus disease haunting a lot of frogs, especially down in South America, Central America, a lot of those areas. Like, there's like, I believe this like golden frog or something they've been trying to save in Mexico that actually had a big problem with that too. Big conservation error going along for that. Okay, 50 years ago, methylene blue was about all that was available for medication. Awful stuff. Right. Yes, and that's the thing. It's what was available at the time. So, I mean, I'm not knocking them, but now things are kind of new. We do have better options. Big Amber.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
That's funny. Sounds good to me, Amber. I will be the necessary guest. Thank you again, Candy. You're awesome. Oh wait, how did I get that far up? I'm all the way back up to Daryl.
Yeah, you're way up high.
Whoa. So you have Gen G's Aquatics, how long will ADA soil buffle the pH to keep it stable when using only remineralized RODI from day one? So they're usually about a year or two, used to be, but I haven't used it for years, so maybe they made it more potent. I don't know. Miller Aquatics, you're awesome. You're welcome. Go pedal to metal on the questions. I try. I actually know how to speed read a little bit, so that kind of helps.
I think we're...
Tech Boy, LRB, are your thoughts on keeping bristlenose plecos with centipoma? What the heck is centipoma? Do you know what those are?
No, I was checking that question out. Yeah, I was...
Hold on. I have to pull up the old Google here. Here, entertain them, Jay.
Pam asks, Lucas, what Pam did a $2 super chat.
It's a gourami, African gourami.
She asks, Lucas,
egg
what
scatters,
do you feed?
No parental care.
What do you feed Joseph's fish?
I love 54 punchy. She's always trolling.
Tropical color
for those
granules.
tropical color granules. Do you even have any of those?
Yeah, I got a whole. Yeah, I put them in a coffee. I put them in a black pepper grinder, and I use them as. I just break them up with the black pepper grinder, and that's how I like my tropical grinders. I don't like them as big because I have a lot of nanofish, and that's too big for them.
Yeah. You gotta break it down.
It'll take all day for that to get soft and then eat it. Yeah. So I put it in the black pepper grinder, go around and just pop all my tanks if I just want a quickie, and I feed everybody real quick.
So about that combo of keeping those fish together, bristlenose, I don't know. I think if you gave that bristlenose enough room to hide Tech Boy, he could probably do all right. But as far as the African gouramis, from what I've heard, some gouramis can be kind of ruthless. But I don't know about that one personally myself. Sorry, I wanted to get to that since we were already moving on that. Are you coming to Minnesota to do a talk? Yes. I don't know if I read that twice. How do you treat sunken belly? So sometimes wasting disease can be a bacterial infection internally, and a general cure can help. John Moss Barger says, if I seed a new tank with a sponge filter, how long would I have to wait safely to stock shrimp? Was thinking Blue Dreams shrimp. Thanks for all info you pass on. So if you really thickly seed it, like, don't worry about getting that water all dirty and moldy and just like really squeeze it in there and get a ton like to start it off. You could do it within hours. But you know, the longer you do wait, the more it's going to season. So give it a couple days, it's going to be a little more seasoned for them too. They may even like that better. So just something to think about. I don't know how it popped me up so fast. Up towards the top.
Well, you're still. Oh, you're good.
What do you recommend to kill planaria and shrimp? Oh man, every Friday night that question happens.
Planaria and what?
Yeah,
with shrimp.
In a shrimp tank.
What
so
do you use?
Pancure C, dog dewormer.
Yeah, no, I use fenbendazole.
Do you? Yeah, I don't use that.
I use fenbendazole.
Well, it's the same thing.
It's
the
a different
same thing.
But the same does the same thing. But
No,
fenbendazole.
Pancure C is fenbendazole.
Oh, you're right. It is brand. That's a brand name.
Yeah.
For fenbendazole.
Yeah.
Which is like a fenbendazole
So you can
2% or something. Or
Right,
1%.
you can get Pancure C. You can get different packets with different
That's
gram
what
sizes,
that's what I have.
which the gram sizes just means the amount of medicine you're gonna get.
Yeah.
And you want to use 0.1 grams per 10 gallons. Wait 72 hours, then repeat. You would
72
usually
hours.
you wait 72 hours, then do a 50% water change, and then repeat.
I do a week and then because I try to stretch out the medication. I guess I wait a week
You
and then I do
can, but
that.
then yeah, I don't know.
I'm just kind of doing it to economically
do it like
stretch
2
out
or
the
3 times.
medication, and I wait a week and then.
Well,
I do
with the
that.
cycle, you want to do it like every 2 days.
Yeah, it depends. I guess if a fish is really bad, yeah, you want to. I mean, yeah, I guess you want to just go with it.
Well, normally it's just unsightly. It's not gonna planaria is not gonna hurt the fish, and he's
No.
dealing with the shrimp tank, which there can be competition with food within the shrimp.
You use
tank.
that for hydra in a shrimp tank too.
Yes, and hydra, but sometimes it can be harder to kill hydra, and you got to do it like 3 or 4 times to repeat it. Papa Rhino, so glad to see you in here. Says, how's your discus brother? They're doing good. Glad to see you in here, and thanks for asking. I would show them, but they're not here since I'm on an island. Nathan Gunnarsson says, do you think deep sand beds are effective as a nitrate reducer in freshwater systems? Any experience with this? So I would say yes, because deep sand beds are usually done for plants. And plants are great for reducing nitrates. So if the plant can grow good, the plant can uptake the nitrates, which just makes it beneficial and better. That's what I always question. Why do we need methylene blue in a nature if it's not there? I think we intervene too much. Yes, for sure. Most def. Yeah, no, Dean uses methylene blue though. If Dean does it, it can't be wrong, can it? Laughy face. Just saying, there's new times abound. I love Dean. Dean knows I love him. He's my boy. Ben Nipper J Puddle says, I just bought 10 black phantom tetras, 10 diamond tetras, 10 black ruby barbs, and I lost all the black phantoms. I used salt, temperature, and meds, hoping my tank is not contaminated now. So with that combination, depending on the space, tetras can war. And I've actually had a community tank where I've had these they were glow light tetras and these blue tetras. And the blue tetras were kind of territorial. And they got along all right for a little while. Then one day they had like this holy battle. I don't know what happened, but I woke up to a couple of the most of the glow lights dead and a couple of the blue tetras. And I think they just went at each other. Tetras are related. They're the Kerasin species related to piranhas. So sometimes They do make good community fish, but if there's not enough space, some tetras can be a little more rowdy than others and have issues with others. Hopefully you're not going too hardcore with raising the salt temperature and meds, because you don't want to overstress your fish, especially in situations like that, because that can actually be more detrimental to their health than what may be happening. Now, if it is a disease or something of the sort, there's usually signs or symptoms other than sudden death that can help tell you, especially after death too. If you see like certain scarrings or funguses or growths or something like that. So definitely look at the body when it dies and try to come up with what makes sense on why that's happening to its body. I hope that helps you. David Reed, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Says, thanks for all your help. Always, Lucas. Well, thank you so much for your support again, David. I really, really appreciate you and you being here. So thank you. You guys are absolutely awesome. Seriously. If you guys weren't so awesome to me, there is no way I would even be here doing this. Like, you guys are amazing. I could never thank you guys enough. I wish there was a better word, but English doesn't quite have that yet.
Did you see that question from Guppy Boy? It's a little bit farther up, but I didn't understand exactly what he was asking. He had some 10-gallon aquarium, a dirted tank with shrimp, and they all died.
He had a what?
Right there.
Okay, I have a 10-gallon dirted tank, and how long should it cycle? I had some shrimp in there. They all died because it was too new. I have a 1 male and 3 female yellow neocaridina. Will I get some? Will you get some? Oh, will you get some angels like deaths or something? I don't know. Or babies. Okay, will you get some babies? Possibly. Hopefully, if it wasn't cycled enough, you noticed the problem. Obviously, you mentioned.
It's a better.
Hopefully, you threw some malmy water in there or got a way to help quicken the cycle and mature the tank. Now, if you did get that tank matured and did get it more natural, get that biofilm, good beneficial bacteria, good water, and you should have babies. Just give it some time. Give the females somewhere comfortable. Rock piles, moss piles, plants, something to hide in to have those babies.
Well, and
hold on. They won't have babies unless they feel comfortable. If there's no space for them to hide, if they're just stuck out in the open, they don't want to have their babies.
Yeah.
They don't.
They won't want to even mate probably, but at least it's a better ratio.
They'll mate
His
still,
ratio is better. If it was 1 female and 3 males, you'd be in trouble because those 3 males would attack and destroy that female.
Yes.
So he's got a better chance with that ratio.
Oh,
that he's
definitely,
working with. Yeah.
definitely, for sure. It's kind of like the guppies. But even if you had like 1 male guppy and 3 female guppies, that could be detrimental to a male guppy. Because them females would not, if they have enough, they will not put up with it. I've seen it. Okay. Scrolling. Lucas Greif says, why do you recommend not having scuds in your shrimp breeding tank? Just competition for food. It's kind of like having planaria in with them. I'm not saying it's a bad thing or it's a problem, but if you do sell shrimp, if you are raising shrimp to breed and to sell, then it can be a problem because you'd have to catch around the scuds. If not, you risk the chance of giving them to somebody else, and you don't want to accidentally give somebody scuds that doesn't want scuds. They will not be happy with you. But if you don't care, then there's no problem with them actually living together, and they could definitely live together because they're both kind of shrimp. Let's see. LRB Aquatics Mr. C says, at what point in a tank's life cycle do you take away air filtration? So when I do start, a lot of people ask me this question, like when you're doing a new tank with no filtration and stuff like that, how do you start it? How do you do it? I just never use air, or I never use filtration. I just do it. I let Mother Nature do it. And I do plan on coming out with a series for you guys about this with my son, which was going to be really cool because he got a 40-gallon for his birthday, and we're going to do it up for him. And I'm going to show you guys how I set up a new tank with no filter, no air stone, and when I decide to take it away. Like on my fish room, when I decided to unplug them all,
Yeah.
I just unplugged them all.
When I scaped this tank, you don't know, it was the first day I went without the filter, and I was like, do I put the sponge filter on it? Do I not? I was like, I so didn't want to do it, but there was like this part of me that was like, no, I'm gonna put the filter on it still, just to create a little extra bit of flow.
You gotta have a little faith, brother. Have faith in your Mother Nature and your water change. That's the problem.
But that's all that's on that tank back here.
But there's nothing wrong with sponge filters. Or even like airline. That's not a bad thing. It's not gonna hurt anything, and it actually breaks up the surface area so you don't get a whole lot of biofilm growing on the top. Yeah. I'm just saying it's not absolutely necessary. And it's not gonna hurt anything not having it. But it does help with some things like biofilm on the surface if you don't have anything to eat that biofilm. Now some fish do like to eat that biofilm. Matter of fact, guppy fish love to eat that biofilm, which sometimes will even poop white, which kind of freaks people out. But when they're eating that white biofilm, it's just the way it goes. Aquatics, bro. Awesome to see you in here. Thank you so much for a $10 super chat. I got to see his fish store up in Cleveland, which is really cool. Aquatics. When I went up there to go talk.
Wow.
I actually did a live stream up there.
I gotta say hi to Jeff Rose. I see him. I haven't seen him in a while. What's up, Jeff Rose? Good to see you. It was nice
Jeff Rose. What's up, brother?
The Aquatic Experience.
He did make it there. Yeah, Aquashella. Good to see you in there, Jeff Rose. D. Kirkbride, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. LRB on tour fund. Yes! Let's take me on tour. Send me to places. Or actually, once you guys see the content I'm going to be coming out with this, you guys, hopefully you guys enjoy it and you guys understand what I'm doing here too, because I actually want to do it quite often this year. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Kind of go on tour to different places and do what I'm doing here. But you guys will have to stay tuned to see what that actually is. Fishy fun, some of you guys may guess. You guys are smart. But thank you again, D. Kirkbride, for your support. I appreciate you. Yo-yo. WTF, never thought I'd see this combo. LMAO, Mile High Play goes. I don't
know, I think it's a good combo. Out of everybody on YouTube, this one, I think this is the one that makes sense. Yeah, we actually
vibe pretty good together.
I think this is the one that makes sense out of anybody else from the YouTube platform that would be here in my house right now. I'm glad it's you. I mean,
well, I'm glad you feel
we
that
definitely
way.
Vibe well, yeah.
Yes, definitely. I remember the first time I met him at Aquatic Experience. He was just starting YouTube. And you, like, you came all the way from the island. Like, you didn't have a lot driving you there, but you were like, I'm going. I don't care. I'm trying to make this.
Months after a hurricane, too.
Yeah. But great to see you in here, Mile High Playcos. Appreciate you. He's the man.
Amber's still giving me stuff about being so quiet. Once again, this is not my stream.
He's behaving. He's being good right now.
I'm practicing the art of reading chat now. Because I'm so bad at it.
Kim Taylor McCarroll says, do you vacuum your multi-shelly dwellers tank? Does it bother them if you do move the sand around? So no, I don't at all. They'll actually move the sand around themselves, and they prefer it not to be disturbed. They definitely prefer not to have their stuff moved, so I would leave it there.
This guy Lone Aquatics is asking about what.
Oh, thank you, Lady LRB, for feeding. She is feeding my fish. She said it's just complete. It takes a little job. If you're not used to feeding my fish room, it can take some time, even with me. But thank you, Lady LRB. What were you saying?
I don't know. This guy was asking about what kind of live foods. The Lone Aquarist was asking what live foods do we culture, and then the question mark infusoria. And I do live baby brine shrimp, and I do microworms, but that's for my fry only, pretty much.
I do whatever grows in the tank, really. Now, I would like to get more baby brine shrimp going for when I do start doing breeding projects here after I get a couple builds done and I'm actually focused on to raising fry fast. Well, not like saying fast, but I want to say better. Bigger water changes, more feedings and stuff like that. It really does help them.
Candy's giving me stuff too.
I used to do other live cultures like microworms and stuff like that, but it can be a pain to deal with and keep up with. Same with vinegar eels and whatnot. Do what?
Oh no, your question. Japanese rice fish.
Good source for Japanese rice fish, asked Beast Heart. That's actually a really good question. I'm going to try to get some more gold Medecas from my boy John Stoller. He's a club member where I'm at, and hopefully I can help you guys find more of those because I know a lot of you guys been looking for them. I've just got to hit him up. Faith in your water change equal faith in Haley, yeah. Well, it's actually been kind of interesting. We haven't been doing water changes lately, and things have been doing pretty good. She knows it. But there's always work for Haley to do. There's always work. Whether it's just moving fish around to breed them, or babies, or eggs, or something. There's always something.
You still work with RO water, right? RODI?
I'm actually using mostly tap water in most of my tanks. There's a few that are specific to soft water that I keep.
You kind of gone back and forth with the RODI.
I did. I've had my whole fish room hard water. I've had my whole fish room soft water just from night and day and then back.
Okay.
Yeah, what I've learned is with the soft water over time, the KH or GH, the mineralization that was already in there from my hard tap water started dissolving away, which was causing issues with my shrimp and my guppies and my rainbow fish. I was washing out the mineralization, and I still was not getting enough with that GH booster, to where now I use the hard water back again.
And do you actually remineralize the tap water too?
No, I don't have to because the minerals are already in the tap water. No, so I still do the normal ferts with my micros and my macros, which your trace elements and your potassiums and stuff.
Because I've got 300 parts per million, but I know most of it's like rust from the iron pipes. That's the problem, is it's not the good stuff.
Have you tested your GHKH?
Yeah, with my tap water.
Yeah. Ooh, was that a lizard?
No, we won't talk about what that was, I think. We're in the island.
Mother Nature, bro.
Yeah, there's animals in the house. It's kind of island life.
Living in a zoo. Is that a Kessel in the bow front behind yins?
It's not a Kessel. It's a halo light made by Aquatic Life. The brand name is Aquatic Life. They also make water filtration. No, not my face. No.
How's that?
Like up my nose. No, it's made by Aquatic Life.
YouTuber fun.
It's made by Aquatic Life, and it's called a Halo light. It runs for $3.99 for the master light, and you can get the slave lights for $2.99. But that's an old model. I don't even know if they make it anymore. But Aquatic Life, they make aquarium lights, mostly saltwater stuff, but they also have the RODI systems everybody buys off on Amazon. Yeah, but it's a nice light.
They've been around for a while.
It's an LED cluster. It's got a glass lens on top of the LED clusters, so the glass lens disperses the light out into a spectrum.
Oh, that's actually something cool to think about. So if you do have an LED, maybe go find a concave lens or something that you can amplify that
all
with.
All those LEDs need to be in a cluster.
DIY, guys. DIY.
Oh no, you could.
You might be able to do that.
You can totally put an optical lens in front of your LEDs, but you got to solder all those LEDs into a little cluster, and that's pretty much what they did. They put a heat sink on it, and that's all. They put the whole spectrum though. There's red, blue, green, white LEDs all on the spectrum, but it's not a cheap light. Yeah. I'd rather have a Kessel light for the price to begin with.
I could buy like, let's see, for as much as that
$400 light, I'd rather have Kessel for $400.
I could get like 20 lights for that much.
Oh.
If not more.
Aquanites? How many Aquanites?
No, actually I'm going with the old shop lights now. I'm done with the Aquanites. They're actually getting harder to get because of the whole China thing.
So LED shop lights.
Yeah, LED shop lights.
Not compact. Not
the T5s. No, T5s can work great if you get like a blue and red spectrum. Actually, that is my favorite combo is T5s with blue and red spectrums. But if you keep too many tanks,
you rotate them.
Yeah, if you keep too many tanks, it can be hard to keep up. So say if you got a double compact, you have one red and one blue.
That's it.
And that's it. You will get some beautiful colors because it'll bring out the blues, it'll bring out the reds, it brings out all the spectrum. And
no white
plants
light.
absolutely love it.
No straight white light.
No straight white light.
It's kind of blue and red growing plants
when it comes to spectrums. Yeah, so you got your both spectrums really covered. Ty Hunsicker, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Great to see you in here. Ty says, slots a lot of beard aquatics. Slots a lot of beard aquatics. Well, that is.
Slots a lot of beard.
Thank you, Ty. I appreciate your support. Stay awesome. Behind every good man is at least a better woman, right? Haha.
I'm speaking.
So that was a joke, right?
Yeah,
No,
right.
I'm just kidding.
What
Aquatic
substrate
Journal.
do you
Without
like?
Sarah, I don't know. I'd be hungry and your shipments would not get shipped, probably. Aquatic Journal. What substrates do you like? Sand. I love sand. Eco Complete's all right. It works. Brightwell. Loose pebbles.
Would you do
dirt.
Brightwell or 88?
Really, you can use a lot. ADA is actually really great. The only problem is
it's expensive.
it's acidic too. So it depends on what you're keeping.
You gotta let it leach for a while.
Yeah, and it can have ammonias from the start sometimes. And
it is expensive, but
it is expensive. But as far as like plant growth, nutrients, you get a lot of bang for like a year or two. But then it dies out.
Yeah, but a year or two is good for some of those subs compared to some substrates. But if money's not the option, yeah.
But you can even supplement that with like some clay on the bottom. Some people use like turfus, which is like a clay soil, to supplement that, or even laterite.
Well, it's like I just sprinkled. That's what I did in here. I sprinkled clay, powdered clay, in the bottom of this.
Which that'll help. Big time.
Once the roots hit that, they'll get a little extra iron and stuff. And it's those plants that want that red pigment, they're gonna get that from the iron. And
let's get you up a little closer.
Am I over here?
So I don't know if they can even hear you all right. Can you hear him all right? I guess they haven't complained.
Are they complaining about the audio?
No.
No, they're going back and forth.
Paranoid.
Amber was huffing and puffing about something, but Lady LRB said something about she found fried as one of your fish earlier, a long time ago, and I didn't say anything about it, but she found fried her fish babies. She found babies. She's got some new babies since you've been gone. She mentioned them.
That happens in the fish room.
Yeah.
305 Richie Rich says thoughts on a female betta tank with lots of plants, about 3 to 4 bettas. Well, I mean, yeah, go for it. Sorority bettas, nothing wrong with that. I actually keep males and females together, and I have community bred bettas together. So if there's enough plants, you can't even get them to community breed. You do got to give them some space though when you do that.
Yeah,
definitely more.
Fish.
Yeah, definitely more surface area the better.
It's a subject when it comes to beta fish. I just try not to even respond to those questions. I let those to Amber because I don't get in trouble.
I think I am like, yeah.
This is me. It's better safer for me to do that. You see her little dotted line, little dot.
All right, so we're back towards the bottom here. I'm trying to keep up with questions, but. Not the easiest, but Danielle Fizza, do your LED shop lights only have white lights or other colors as well? So sometimes they come in different degrees, like 32K, 5K. It's hard to find them at 60, 500K. But even the 5K I find to work pretty well. Yeah, but it's a little more yellow tint than like the blue or white color, but
it's not like
you can find them in different spectrums.
They're all every LED cluster. They're all the same LEDs. Whereas like you buy an aquarium light, it's got to have. You got white LEDs, you got blue, and you got red LEDs.
Right.
You buy a shop light, they're all going to be
RGBs,
a certain temperature
red, greens,
of
and blues.
white. Yeah.
Right. But then they still work as well because they have the lumen power and the power to actually hit the plants.
Oh yeah.
What do you guys think about CFL bulbs? CFL bulbs have grown some of the best plants I've ever seen too, because I believe the radiation in there from the CFL bulbs actually really help grow the plants.
And still that spectrum of light, if they're putting out the right spectrum for your plant.
Well, even 6500K, even the 5000K, both have performed really well for me for the CFLs.
And compact fluorescence.
Definitely 6500K is what I would target if going for the CFLs. And they release a lot of heat too.
Heat, but
the radiation levels are like they're kind of high on those CFLs.
But they're only
that's why I think what it is.
They're only pulling about 3 to 5 watts.
Right, and that's really good.
That's the nice part for electric.
Jack Shanaha says, "Why can't you use protein skimmer on freshwater?" So they do actually use skimmers. They have some skimmers made for freshwater aquariums.
Try to do it.
Eheim makes one.
Yeah.
Just the ones that are made, they usually have like a very small foam filter that helps keep the motor from being clogged, but that clogs up so quick. They take a lot of maintenance. I have a bunch of them in my fish room, but I can't keep up with the maintenance on them.
But the concept of a protein skimmer kind of doesn't work without that salinity and the bubbles from the salt water. So it's kind of one of the things where you can create a protein skimmer, but it's a skimmer, but to me, to make a protein skimmer work in salt water, it works from the soaps, the suds and the bubbles that are created by the salt
well,
water.
the soaps and the bubbles are being
lift.
collected because the protein that gets caught up within that skimmer is all collected in there, and then it creates that kind of foamy.
This is a freshwater tank up here,
but salt water.
With that eel in there, I had a protein skimmer in there, freshwater. Yeah. But I did it because he's an eel and he eats raw meat, and I needed to skim off all that protein, all of his poop that was full of, gonna make the water nasty real quick.
Right.
So I've actually done freshwater protein skimming, and that's
with the actual protein. skimmer.
He's eating raw shrimp meat every 3 days, and it's like having a bird in a fish. Or any big animal, having a lizard and a snake in a fish tank.
Right.
You gotta skim off some of that stuff, or you'll be in trouble.
Rahul Murthy says, do you think you can overdose Sea-Chem Stability, the hardness powder thingy? I'm already going ham with winter shells. Honestly, I don't know. I don't have a lot of information on that product. LRB Aquatics, have you had any luck spawning peacock gudgeons or the Scriptosemian etzeli yet? So the Scriptosemians, no. The peacock gudgeons are all kind of in a community right now. I do have rock piles in with them. I don't think they're going to be able to breed like that quite yet. And right now I haven't had much time to focus towards breeding. I've actually got some breeding projects I'm waiting to do for when I get back as well. And this year, my main focus is to organize my fish room and build some new stands to be able to really focus on breeding and production. It's hard for me to breed something if I can't raise it properly. And if I can't raise it properly, I'm not going to bother breeding it yet. But I do have plans to do so. Les Turnbull, glad to see you in here. Says, Windsor Aquarium Society misses you, brother. Les, miss you guys, bro. Love it.
That's part of the conditioning process too. Like before you can breed, you kind of like, to me, you got to get the fish happy, condition them in a tank, and that's gonna make breeding them so much easier. You know, you can't just put them in a tank and say, spawn
breed
for me.
Yeah. You got to make them comfortable. You got to make them happy. The peacock gudgeons are actually pretty easy. They do tend to prefer like the softer water when breeding the eggs and stuff, but just give them a rock pile. They go find a crack or crevice somewhere and they'll throw some eggs in there, and you just got to get the
I like using Pleco caves for that too.
adults
like
out.
Apistogrammas and that, something like the peacock gudgeons.
Sometimes the gudgeons will do that too, yeah.
And they'll use the Pleco cave like no problem. And I like that you can pull the eggs. You can just pull the Pleco cave out, and you got the eggs, you got the fry or whatever that's in it, take everything and run with it to a new tank or something if you want.
Finniper J. Puddle, thank you so much for becoming a member. I appreciate you. Great name too, that's pretty interesting. Finniper J. Puddle. Love it. Would a protein skimmer add oxygen to the water from the pump? Well, it actually add water just from getting the protein off of the surface, if not from the pump as well, because if you get that protein off the surface of your water can actually exchange oxygen a lot easier, opposed to if there's a protein inhibiting that oxygen exchange. Even though I've never had any problem with protein being covered on my tanks and the fish having to deal with oxygen. I think us as humans think fish need oxygen more than they do. They need water.
Well, I think people think that the gas exchange is not just going to naturally happen. It's H2O2. It's always H2O2. So it's pulling it out of the air whether we believe it or not.
Well, even out of the water, there's oxygen within the water.
Unless you seal up that aquarium and seal it up tight, that water's going to have gas exchange because it's going to keep a balance of H2 and H2O.
Right.
Like, there's always going to be those parts there. So.
Connor Rothandler says, how many fish can I have in my 10-gallon? So that really depends on what kind of fish you want or what kind of fish you keep. So smaller fish, you can have up to 10 different types of fish, but if you want like a salmon or a pike, you might get like half that fish in there. So just think about the size of your fish. Give them plenty of space and room to play. You do have topwater fish, you have midwater fish and bottom water fish. So you can kind of play with that, around with that a little bit. And you can actually fit more fish in a 10-gallon by doing that because they each have their surface area that they control. But definitely the more space that you have for the fish, the better. And I think the good thing about keeping tanks natural and no filter is the fact that you don't have to buy a filter. So if you don't have to buy a filter, take that money you would buy the filter and get a bigger tank for your fish. Your fish will thank you for that. For sure.
I just saw how many people are in here. I kind of like, I had a little moment where I wasn't nervous until I looked at that number, and I'm like, I've never been in a live stream with that many people.
Is your heart beating?
I'm okay now. No, just don't zoom in on my
nice
nose
shirt,
again.
By the way.
My design is for
Carolina
sale.
University.
Teespring.com. It's for
Get
sale.
one.
Yeah. Anyway.
Little plug for you there. I do like it though.
I thought of you when I made this shirt,
right.
Because the shrimp and stuff, and when you're
Well, that's
University.
Cool. I like it. Oh, you guys are awesome.
Somebody's cleaning house up in the chat for a minute. There was a little house cleaning
really?
going on there. Yeah, it's clean. I think it's cleaned up now.
Connor Rothandler. Oh, how many fish can I have in my tank? Oh, he's just asking too many times probably. I got good mods. They don't just hit you out for nothing. D. Kirkbride, he's very small for his beak to need trim. 2 inches. I will take a look. I dose for parasites. Fingers crossed, but I've had him 6 weeks, so he must be eating something. I'm not sure what he's talking about. I think I saw him talking to other people in here, but... Alright, looks like we are well over the hour mark.
Uh-oh.
Oh, hold on, wait. What is this? Adam Lukey. Alright, so we're going to hop off here. And I definitely appreciate all your guys' support and for you guys being here, watching, asking questions, hitting the like button, subscribing, all that stuff. My super chatters, my Patreons, my members, thank you all so much. Without you guys, this would be super hard to do, if not impossible. So everybody in the chat, thank them people as well for me because they deserve it. I hope you guys all have a great weekend. Jace, you got anything to say to these guys before we hop off here?
Keep your tanks clean, your fish fed, and have fun.
There you go. There you go. All right. Have a great one, everybody. Peace. Till next time.